Amidst a growing clamor from the Indian side that the action should be taken against Khalistani group present on various countries, there is another incident in UK which has come into the light where Indian High Commissioner Vikram Doraiswami was stopped from entering a Gurdwara in Glasgow. The incident had happened just 24 hours ago when he was present in Glasgow. He had some meeting with the cultural groups and he was also meeting eminent people from the society in Glasgow. And one of the event had him visiting the Gurdwara. He was invited from the Gurdwara Prabandhan Committee. But we could see on some of the footages that has surfaced on online, some of the people, a few in numbers, they tried to question the Gurdwara Prabandhan Committee also as to why the High Commissioner, Indian High Commissioner, has been asked to come or he has been invited to the Gurdwara. We could also see in the pictures how the Langar event, which was kind of created or organized in the as Indian High Commission was going to be present in the Gurdwara, the tables were laid. But then these few people start coming to the parking lot where High Commission's car was coming, and it stopped. These people tried to protest and ask him to leave. In a very brief scuffle, we could see some of them trying to open the car gate also of Vikram Doraiswami's car, and apparently the High Commissioner is also trying to push the lock button inside to lock the car from inside. So this is all happened, and when after a brief scuffle or brief confrontation, the High Commissioner leaves from the spot, and these Khalistani people, they are boasting it that they were not liking that Indian High Commission was coming to the Gurdwara Prabandhan Committee. They also say that we know that the management committee of Gurdwara is not going to like it, but we are not going to let Indian diplomats come here. So this is all the incidents has happened. We have seen Khalistani violent organizations creating some ruckus in the past. Also, Indian High Commission in London was on the target of these Khalistani protests in the month of March, and we could see all sort of attempt to even break in the building of India House in London. Indian tricolor was disrespected. One of the diplomats was also injured in the scuffle while trying to protect Indian tricolor. There has been a huge concern that India expressed to the UK side on the issue. The High Commission was called and told about the Indian concerns and the threat and intimidation going towards Indian diplomats present there. We have seen in the past some incidents also happening which kind of created some tried to create a divide between Indian communities, Sikh diaspora and Hindu communities living in various parts of UK. So in the larger context, the issue of Khalistan, their violent agenda against India, against Indian diplomats and Indian communities living in certain countries, especially in UK, US, Canada and Australia, has become an issue of national threat. India has raised the issue with these countries in the past also. In fact, with UK also, India has raised the issue in the past to respond to the attack that has happened on Indian High Commission in London earlier this year. UK had condemned this incident. The Foreign Minister of UK had also condemned the incident and said that violence does not have any space in UK's politics, and no freedom of speech and democratic right to protest cannot be allowed for this violent agenda to propagate. But while witnessing on the ground, there is nothing that we can see being translated from the policy or the thinking of the government against these Khalistani extremists being practiced on ground. They are still emboldened. They are confident that they could go ahead and do some protests. They could stop Indian diplomats. They could threaten them, and then they could just live like they are. There's nothing, no legal coercion that is going to happen against them. There is no legal step that is going to happen against them. No authority is going to question them or ask them to stop, because everything is happening under the political context of freedom of speech and expression. This is where India has raised this concern that this is not going to go on. In the case of diplomats, we have seen in the High Commission of India in London, Vikram Doraiswami, his posters were made, a reward was announced on his head, and he was called out for being apparently involved in the killing of Hardeep Signature, and Khalistani extremists tried to spread this misinformation across social media. And it was a clear intimidation against Indian diplomats present in UK, and the issue was raised with the UK authorities. But what all steps UK has taken in the past, that has also not been very satisfactory, and what steps UK will take with the latest incident, that remains to be seen. We have so far No comments coming from the Indian High Commission in London or External Affairs Ministry from India, but we know that with the kind of events or the videos which is very disturbing and intimidating for Indian diplomats present in UK, there is bound to be any some sort of concern that will be raised from the Indian side to the UK authorities.
पहले भी वारदातें हुई और हिंदू धर्म के मानने वालों के ऊपर हमला हुआ, मंदिरों पर भी हमला हुआ। तो हमारा जो डिप्लोमेटिक फेलियर है, मैं कह सकता हूँ, काफ़ी हद तक डिप्लोमेटिक फेलियर है। कभी ऐसा नहीं देखा गया था। और कनाडा के बाद में अगर इंग्लैंड में ऐसा हो रहा है तो बड़े दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि स्कॉटलैंड के गुरुद्वारा में हमारे एम्बेसडर को या हमारे दूतावास के बड़े अधिकारी को प्रवेश न करने दिया जाए। ये तो बड़े आश्चर्य की बात है।
और मैं बड़ा स्पष्ट कर रहा हूँ, कोई भी खालिस्तानी सिख नहीं है और जो खालिस्तान की मांग करता है वह भी सिख नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारे गुरुद्वारे तो सबके साझे हैं, सबके लिए हैं और सब धर्मों, सब जाति, सब पंथों के लिए है, जो मर्जी आ सकता है। तो ये जो स्कॉटलैंड में हुआ ये निंदनीय है और अपेक्षा करते हैं कि वहाँ की सरकार इस पर तुरंत कार्रवाई करेगी।
जो मुझे अभी जानकारी मिली कि उनको उस गुरुद्वारे में बुलाया गया था, आमंत्रित किया गया था, ऐसा मुझे वहाँ बताया गया। ना भी बुलाया गया होता तो भी उनके आने पे कोई भी किसी भी तरह के गुरुद्वारा, क्योंकि धर्म और बाकी चीज़ें दोनों को किसी भी तरीके से जोड़ना गलत है। धर्म की एक अपनी आस्था है, सिख की अपनी एक परिभाषा है और सिखिज्म को, एंटायर सिखिज्म को किसी को अधिकार नहीं है कि इस तरह से पूरी दुनिया में हमें बदनाम किया जाए। हम वो कम्युनिटी नहीं है जो मार धाड़, जिस तरह की हमारी छवि बनाने की कोशिश की जा रही है, हम वो लोग नहीं हैं।